Thursday night, one of 82, but does the win mean a little bit more, not only because of the team you beat, but also in the way the game unfolded?
Yeah, I think, there's a recognition from our guys, of an intensity that we have to play at and a level that we can elevate ourselves to. Now the test for us is, Miami, Memphis, being able to do the same thing when we go on the road. And you don't have your fans there, right? But now you have to muster it up from within. So I think it'll be a great test for us, but it's what we need to do.
Jimmy, it's Black History Month. What did it mean to you growing up, maybe to what it meant to you 5 years ago, now to today, if that's changed at all?
I think obviously growing up, it was the education and the history of it all, and learning, the impact that, Black people had, not just here but everywhere, and understanding how very little, for a long period of time we were actually taught in schools and how much they wanted us to know, but being able to see all the things that Black people have accomplished and contributed to, America and to society as a whole, should always be celebrated. And I think this is a great opportunity to do so.
Has it changed at all over the last 5 years, today or 5 years ago?
Yeah,
everything that's happened over the last couple of seasons?
It's always been extremely important, right? My mom was a teacher, so, she always did the job of making sure we were well aware of, our history and those types of things. So for me personally, it hasn't changed. I think as a society, people have paid more attention to it recently, which I think is a great thing. The more we can share and spread, the knowledge and the respect for one another, I think is extremely important. I think, we still have ways to go on how we just treat people and how we respect one another. But I think this is a great opportunity, again, for everyone to learn. And I think the more you learn, the more respect you can have, and the better we'll treat each other.
Thanks, David.
Now that it's been a couple of days since the All-Star reserves were announced, have you talked to Darius just kind of about it all since Thursday?
No. Okay. Again, we have all of our conversations, and sometimes what's understood doesn't need to be said. And he and I, I know it. I know it pissed him off, but you also go out and watch how he responded, and that's enough said.
And then, obviously, with the trade deadline this coming week, from a human element standpoint, how do you approach this week, just kind of with the uncertainty, but also, just knowing that, these guys they have a human side?
Right. You have to have empathy. And again, we try to be consistent in how we treat people. And we just try to continue that every single day, and understanding that it is difficult. I don't know how many of them listen or hear. I don't know if their names are in things. I try not to pay attention to that stuff also. But, you do understand it. And so you just try to make sure you're there, you're embracing guys, and you're, treating them with that consistency that you have all year.
You feel like Donovan's kind of not as healthy as he was at the beginning of the season, just from a standpoint of it looks like he's kind of still shaking the rust off a little bit?
Yeah, I think all those, it's this time of year,
right,
where he's put in a lot of work and a lot of miles and a lot of games, and I think he is banged up a little bit, but he's continuing to do everything he needs to do, and he wants to get out there and he wants to compete with his team. So, we try our best to give him as much rest as we can on off days and things like that. He's great at getting his treatment. He takes great care of his body, but he's a little banged up.
When you look at this Indiana team, does it remind you a little bit of you guys last season? They're a team that wasn't expected to be great, but they're young, they're scrappy, they're playing hard, and they're just thinking you're all on the same night.
Yeah, they are fun to watch. I think Rick does an outstanding job with his teams, but his team, he is able to transition to the personnel he has, and for this team to be able to play faster, obviously Halliburton means a ton to him, but he's got a lot of those young guys that are just scrappy and they're fearless, and they play that way, and again, they play fast and they can make threes, so they put a ton of pressure on him.
And to go off Jay Mike's question a little bit, for you as a black man, for you to have some of the black men on your team, be advocates in this community and speak up, how important is that to you?
I mean, it's extremely important. Like, if you have a platform, it's important that you use your platform for what you believe in and what is right. It's important that you are educated on it so that when you are saying things that are right. But, recently, like to J. Mike's point, over the past, 5 or 6 years even, there is a division that's been created. To me, it's division based on really small and petty things. At the end of the day, we are all people. We should treat each other with the same respect, that we would want to be treated with. We can have different opinions and different views, but there's no reason why we can't respect one another. And I think there has been a lack of respect for one another that, we all can be better at. Our guys obviously have, millions of followers and fans, and their weight carries. So if their message is positive, reaching out to their people that support them, their fans, their followers, whatever it may be, then we can overwhelm the negative. And again, it's up to us to empower our guys to do it, but it's extremely important that they do.
Coach, going back to the opponents this week, 4 of the 5 are either fighting to stay in the playing spots or trying to get in there. And I know the games are important to us as well, but is that part of the conversation, realizing the urgency that the opponent is going to have?
Yeah, and this, understanding again what we're facing, but also spending that focus on us and understanding what we're playing for and the urgency that we have to play with. And I think if you put, the effort and focus there, our output will be better, because now we're just worrying about ourselves, and you can't always worry about, what the next man is thinking or the next team is thinking. So we need to play with that urgency as well and do that all the time.